A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here at Quaker Steak and Lube, our home away from home on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Lots to get into today. Just a quick note for those of you that have been following along the last couple of days here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. We are into the final 6 hours now of Center Gives. CenterGives.org is the website where you can give to your favorite nonprofits in the area, raising a lot of money for a lot of great organizations. And again, that'll go until 8 o'clock tonight. CenterGives.org. CenterGives.org. And let's see, we are up to nearly $2.5 million raised in the campaign. Total is just under $2,470,000 as we speak. And now we go over that mark with 13,462 individual donations at the moment. So again, you have still 6 hours to go, nearly. So they'll have the big celebration ending event from 5 to 8 tonight at the Rivet in Bellefonte. So hopefully we continue to raise even more money here for the nonprofits in the area. Lots that we can get into today. Penn State lacrosse getting ready for the NCAA quarterfinal matchup with Notre Dame on Sunday at noon. The Nittany Lions go in as the 5 seed and hoping for an opportunity to get another crack at the number 1 overall seed Cornell, whom the Nittany Lions defeated earlier this season. So looking forward to that. Of course, Penn State baseball tonight, if you're not aware, we'll be back in action here at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. That'll be a 5:30. Penn State will wrap up the regular season with a 3-game series against Xavier. The first game tonight and the series and regular season finale for the Nittany Lions will be at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. In between, they'll head to FNB Field in Harrisburg, home of the Senators, for a game tomorrow evening at 6. The Senior Day 30 on Saturday, first pitch for the regular season finale is set for 1 o'clock on Saturday as the Nittany Lions find out over the course of the weekend. Well, we'll see how everything shakes out in the final weekend of Big Ten play. I think most of the other teams have Big Ten series this weekend, if not all of them. So Penn State goes into the weekend eighth right now in the Big Ten playoffs. So Penn State should have that locked up in all likelihood on Saturday. And then again, we'll learn exactly where they are seated and the opponent or opponents for pool play, which will open up next week in the Big Ten championships. Also, pre-seeds were released yesterday for the Senior World Team Freestyle Wrestling Trials, which will be occurring tomorrow and Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky. From the Penn State and Nittany Lion Wrestling Club perspective, we'll go just by weight class here. So Bo Bartlett will go in as the 6th seed at 65 kilos. The 3-time All-American for Penn State goes in as the 6th seed at 65 kilos. Of course, just a graduate state. Incoming, Penn State freshman Marcus Blaze will be the 8th seed at 70 kilos. Penn State recruit P.J. Duke is the 2 seed. And Penn State senior-to-be Levi Haynes is the number 1 seed at 79 kilos. Nittany Lion Wrestling Club member Kyle Dake, the number 1 seed at 86 kilos. The 3 seed there at 86 kilos is one Carter Starachi, who, of course, won his unprecedented 5th national title for Penn State in March. Again, he is the 3 seed. Penn State's Josh Barr, who was the NCAA runner-up as a redshirt freshman this past March. He will be the number 1 seed at 92 kilos. The trials will get underway tomorrow and conclude again on Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky. And the winners will advance to Final X and look to earn a spot on the world team for the United States. Of course, World Championships will be coming up in the fall. And just a couple of quick programming notes here on the local front with the Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. We will have postseason softball and baseball coverage starting next week. Our coverage will get underway on Monday, May 19th, with Penns Valley at Bald Eagle area in a PIAA District 6 AAA quarterfinal game. That will be at Wingate, Bald Eagle area, and Penns Valley, Monday at 4 o'clock. And then we'll have District 6 baseball championship action in the 6A tournament on Wednesday afternoon, starting at 4 o'clock from Mount Aloysius College, as State College will face the winner of a game between Mifflin County and Altoona. We'll also have updates on Wednesday, the softball field, which will be very close proximity to the baseball game. State High softball will take on Altoona starting at 5 at Mount Aloysius. Again, that'll be on Wednesday, May 21st next week. And then on Thursday, Bellefonte will take its turn in the Quad A District 6 tournament. It'll be Bellefonte versus Juniata in both softball and baseball. The baseball action will get underway at 4 o'clock. We'll have live coverage of that game with updates of the softball matchup with Juniata. Again, both those games will be at Mifflin County High School. Baseball action getting underway at 4, and the softball game at 4:30. So we'll have lots of high school diamond action for you next week here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing, dear Goon?
That was like a recording.
That's
very impressive, buddy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in the Valley of Happiness.
Always is. It's that time of year, buddy.
That it is. We're expecting the possibility of thunderstorms this evening, so we will be ready as we can be.
68 degrees out this afternoon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Beautiful day. Yeah. It's like damp and moist, right? I had my house, windows were open around the house and this and that. Everything feels wet. Yeah. Humid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At night, the fog comes in. So I put the air conditioners in this morning. Just control it because it's
fair.
You don't need them on, but you're going to get the moist air coming in your house, and the couches get all wet, like moist and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just can't believe I have my air conditionings on. They're set at 72 on economy, so they're not really running, but hoping to dry the house out a little bit.
There you go.
You know what I mean? You know how it is.
We do what we
But it is
do.
just I do love this time of year. Obviously we can go downtown at will right now. Well, no. It's still senior week right now, right? Yeah, this is the end of senior week, so
yeah,
I don't know how many have made it. My buddies run the bars downtown, and they're like, yeah, they're partied out by Thursday, so most of them leave by Thursday.
Really, senior week isn't what it once was. A lot of those, again, graduation has already occurred.
Yep,
and so a lot of the kiddos have already worked their way into the so-called real world, and. But yeah, there's a few stragglers hanging around, and
they do.
The
people hang in, and you look on social media and stuff. And I saw a video the other day, and somebody was like, "Why did college kids get so upset when they're like partying up?" And I was like, thinking about it, and it's like these are people you live with for 4 or 5 years, 3 or 4 years, 2 years, whatever, and now your paths are going opposite ways right now. It's a big change for people, and it's time to enter the real world too, so people have that to worry about.
The real world.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up, Jeff.
Right there with you, brother. Right there with you.
Maybe we'll get a radio station and really just pump out some unbelievable material.
All right, let's get into the Steelers and the Eagles.
Ooh,
of course,
baby.
we have the Pirates and the Phillies on tap this weekend. Phillies split their doubleheader yesterday with the Cardinals. The Pirates salvaged the final game of their series with the Mets. An absolute crazy offensive explosion as two different batters had RBI for the Pirates.
Unheard of in the 25 Bucko system. Unheard of.
Two home runs in one game.
Wow.
Dude. And 4 runs. Again, this wasn't over a series. This was one game. The Pirates actually scored 4 runs.
Savage.
And they win it 4-0 over the Mets.
Murderer's Row, a new decade, a new century, buddy.
It is. Well, actually, I was looking at it. The statistics are actually, you think of the New York Yankees as being this offensive juggernaut and the Pirates as being, not an offensive juggernaut.
Defensive wizards.
When you look at the numbers that these teams are producing, they're actually pretty similar. The difference is, I'm looking at a week's worth of statistics for the Yankees and a season's worth of statistics for the Pirates. But when you do it that way, they're comparable in terms of home runs and run production to this point in the season.
Baby steps.
1 week for the Yankees, 6 weeks for the Pirates is what you need to do for that comparison to almost.
You could have the Phillies
kind of
issue
work.
yesterday, and that was their supposed number 2 ace, Aaron Nola, drops to 1-7 on the season.
Yeah.
He gave up a 6-1 first inning lead. 6-1, they're up.
Was it 6-1 or 5-1? I think
It was 6-1 in the first, or 5-1 in the first inning, but it got to 6-1.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I think later they got the
But my Lord, come on now, I don't. You
Yeah.
know, there's a guy who's struggling all year. They know he's been struggling, so it's like, okay, let's go out and get him some runs tonight. Get him back on track and feeling good. Put a 5-spot up first inning.
Well, he was feeling good
6-1.
for a couple of innings.
Man, oh
And
man,
then-
and then they just
Not so much.
then he threw BP. I had guys at home running downtown getting their baseball bats to get a couple cuts in because he was throwing BP out there.
Mhm.
My Lord, man, it was bad. Not fun to watch either.
All right, let's take a look at the NFL schedules released earlier this week. The beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. If you're wondering how confident the NFL is that the Steelers will in fact sign Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers' opening game will be at the New York Jets. I think that gives you a pretty good indication that the NFL office believes that Aaron Rodgers is in fact going to ultimately sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll see if they are right.
I said it 3 months ago. They should go get Kirk and Cousins.
What will be
I think he's got more left in
interesting,
him.
so the Steelers will have Justin Fields and the Jets, presumably against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers in week 1. Then they have the former Seahawk, DK Metcalf, welcoming his now former team, the Seahawks, in for week 2. Then the Steelers have what I think most Pittsburghers would consider a rivalry game against the Patriots in Foxborough on week 3. Then it is the big trip to Dublin for the Ireland game against Minnesota. That'll be a 9:30 Eastern time kickoff in the final Sunday of September. And then the Steelers will have their bye week. So 4 weeks in, then the bye week. Then the Steelers will welcome the Cleveland Browns to Pittsburgh for the week 6, their 5th game of the season. Steelers then travel to Cincinnati, so back-to-back intra-divisional games. Then that'll be, by the way, the Bengals game in Cincy will be the Thursday night game. So you get the Steelers and the Browns, which regardless of anything else about that game, is going to be a physical battle. And then the Steelers have to play another divisional game on a Thursday night on the road against Cincinnati. I get it's not a long trip, but okay. Then the Steelers will welcome the Packers. That will be a Sunday night matchup. Steelers will then host the Indianapolis Colts to open up the November portion of the schedule. Steelers will travel to the Chargers the following Sunday night. Then the Bengals will make the return trip on November 16th. The Steelers then will travel to the Bears for an early afternoon game. Steelers will host the Bills. That'll be a late afternoon game. Steelers will visit the Ravens. And then the Steelers will host the Mad Turtles' favorite team, the Miami Dolphins, in a night game, Monday night matchup on December 15th.
Jeez.
I already told the Mad Turtle I'm going to look into. I'm not promising anything.
That little run right there with the Bills, the Ravens, the Dolphins, and Lions.
Yeah, then they are at Detroit on the short week after the Monday night game. Again, they're back on the road with the short week to take on the Detroit Lions. Then back home with the Cleveland Browns to wrap up that series. And then they'll wrap up the regular season by entertaining the Baltimore Ravens. So that's the Steelers side of things.
Go ahead.
It is fruitless and it's ridiculous, but we all do it. So this is how I see the season shaping up for the Steelers. And again, it's absurd because there's always teams that get hot that are going to be better than we expect right now. Sure. There's always teams that'll be a little worse. And then there's always, well, Aaron Rodgers wasn't available this game. Oh, Aaron Rodgers never signed with us. Steelers are relying on Mason Rudolph, and now he got hurt. So there's all of the different things that can occur. That being said, it's what we all do if we're fans, and it's like you're going through. And this is what I think. I think as we're sitting here right now, and let me also throw in the caveat, first fan. It is a given somewhere along the way. It's now a 17-game schedule. There will be at least a game where everybody agrees, man, the Steelers are going to win that, and the Steelers will lose it. That happens.
Playing down their competition.
At least once every season, where it's just an inexplicable Steelers loss. I think I know where that game is going to come. But here is what I think right now on the quick run through. I think the Steelers beat the Jets in New York. I think they are looking forward to the matchup with Justin Fields, that defense. So I have the Steelers beating the Jets. Then I have the Steelers coming home and beating the Seahawks. I then have the Steelers
they are two teams that are on the rise, in my opinion.
And beating the Patriots.
No, it's not. Come on.
They are off to a 3-0 start.
Oh, Lordy.
Here in the 2025 season. I think the Steelers then go to Ireland and beat the Minnesota Vikings because Croakfield is going to be crazy for the Steelers. That is going to be a Steelers home game field, as many of their road games are. I think
Vikings quarterback is a McCarthy. He's going to be playing in Ireland. You got no shot.
The Steelers then fall at home to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh my goodness!
And fall to 4-1. I then think on the short week they fall at Cincinnati and drop to 4-2, and panic starts to set in. My God, the Steelers are losing all of their divisional games. This is a disaster. what is going to happen. What is going to happen?
I'm saying 3-3 right now. Go ahead.
The Steelers will rebound and defeat the Green Bay Packers at Acrisure / Heinz Field.
There's no slash.
Stadium.
Ain't no slash.
So that gets the beloved Steelers to 5-2 on the season. The Steelers are then home with the Colts. Win that game and get to 6-2.
4-4.
Then the Steelers go to the Chargers. I don't think that goes well. I think the Steelers lose that game and fall to 6-3. Steelers then host the Bengals. I think they beat the Bengals. I think they go to 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, all right, here we go. The Steelers just have to beat the Bears. I mean, it's in Chicago, but it's the Bears. This is the game.
I got you 4-6 right now.
This is the game that the Steelers drop inexplicably, and they fall to 7-4.
You think it's going to take that long to get to that bad loss?
The Steelers host the Buffalo Bills, and I think Buffalo is going to be in the running for the Super Bowl again this season. And even though it's in Pittsburgh and the fans will be fired up, I think Buffalo finds a way to win it, and the Steelers fall to 7-5 before visiting the Baltimore Ravens and falling to 7-6. I do think they rebound and beat the Mad Turtles, Miami Dolphins, with both of us in attendance. Well, that's my dream scenario. I doubt that's going to happen. That'll be a school night for the Dear Mad Turtle, and it'll be, I'll have work the next morning, but that'd be cool if we could pull that off. Then the Steelers will visit the Detroit Lions. I don't think that goes well. I do think the Steelers will beat the Browns in Cleveland. So I think both teams win road games in that series. And then it's the Steelers hosting the Ravens. I have the Steelers winning it because I think the Ravens will be resting many of their starters for that particular game. And I lost track.
So you have a winning record.
I do have them.
Tomlin's winning records can continue.
Yeah, I don't know if I stuck with it. I had them 10-7. I didn't add. I might have added another loss in that run through and have them at 9-8. Now there's a couple of games that I've flip-flopped on as I run through the schedule each time. So regardless of what I said there, officially I will predict 9-8.
That's the bet
for the
That's our
Steelers.
Bet right there, and that is winning record for Tomlin or not. I'll give you that leeway.
I think they can get off to a good enough start that will occur.
That scares me.
But again, we will have to wait and see how it all plays out. Now,
interesting.
Yeah.
That those first 3 or 4 games, that's the telling of your whole season, in my opinion. Because I think you get through the Jets. I mean, the Jets are on the rise. I know I sound like an ESPN NFL pundit right now, but they can only be getting better. I mean, they have the top 5 picks every freaking year. They're going to eventually catch up, right? But you also have Mr. Fields at quarterback. So how quick is he going to mature and get into that system? Seems like we say that about him every year, by the way.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know the relationship with the defense and him, because that may come into play right there. They may have hated him on the field because he couldn't do anything for them last year. They might be after him to break his, not break him, but to beat him up pretty damn good. That's the Jets game. You got, like I said, you have 3 or 4 tough games over the season. That'll, I think, how the season's going to go for the Steelers is right there in that nutshell, those first 4 games.
I think there will be a false sense of confidence after those first 4 games. I don't think that's how the season will go.
What if it's 2-2?
I think they'll get off to a good start. I think, they're going to be right around a 500 team. That's what they are. I think if Aaron Rodgers is in there, maybe they get to 10-7 if that works well. If he's not, maybe they do get that first losing season under Tomlin at 8-9. I don't think it's a great difference, truthfully, at this point, one way or the other.
Hand on the Bible.
Yeah.
1, do you think Rodgers is coming? And 2, do you think Rodgers is going to be Green Bay Rodgers or going to be a shell of himself type of thing?
I think he'll be in between. I do think ultimately he'll sign here with the Steelers. I'm just not sure how much his heart's going to be into it. I think getting off to a good start, and I do think that's a distinct possibility, will help him and the Steelers feel good about it, at least early on. But if, as you said, if they get off to a rough start, how quickly does he kind of check out?
He keeps on getting hit. That's the name of the game with him, is always hit him. Get him hit.
The Steelers fans turn on him for not being the solution to a multi-tiered problem.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles.
17-0.
Expectations are fairly high. I would dare say higher in Philadelphia than they are in Pittsburgh going into the season. In part, I think this may be predicated on the relative success of the two teams last year. The Steelers did get to the playoffs. I think, remind me, Goon, the Eagles, I think, got to the playoffs also last year. Did they not?
They didn't lose. They got in and didn't lose. Actually, they slumped. You know what I did this? The Eagles-Rams playoff game was on in the snow this past week, and I watched it, and I didn't realize that was a gutsy, lucky win by the Eagles, because the Rams had it first and 10 at the 25.
Well,
down 6 with 2 minutes to go.
What the Eagles need to figure out this season is a way to get Saquon Barkley involved with the offense.
That's the big thing. You don't pay him that much money. You got to get him rolling.
They have to get him involved, get him some touches, get him out of the slump from a year ago. So that's the, fingers crossed, if you're an Eagles fan, that Saquon can finally break through and have a big season for your team.
Yeah, so open up.
You're home with the Dallas Cowboys.
Hanging a banner versus your biggest rival, your most hated team. It scares me, because usually those banner-raising games is a big letdown.
Yeah.
I personally think that in the past, not just the Eagles, but others. But it is the Cowboys in the same way, and you have no idea who or what the Cowboys are going to be bringing this year. They're the craziest team out there. It's like they could be a 14-3 team or a 3-14 team, in my opinion. That's how they fluctuate. But opening game, hanging the banner, you got to give the Birds that victory, right? Thursday night opening game of the season.
Sure. I don't think it'll be close.
It does scare me, though. Go ahead. Okay.
I mean, it can scare you, but I don't think it's close.
I believe Detroit beat Kansas City a year or two ago in the opening game.
I am not saying it's not possible.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. Crazy things happen week to week. That one opening game, Cowboys being where they are, Eagles being where they are. Yep, I get it. Crazy things happen. I think the Eagles absolutely smashed Dallas.
That'd be great
in that opening game.
That would be amazing.
And I think Saquon Barkley goes off. I think he has a huge game to open up the season. But
it's an embarrassment of riches what they have on that offense, with that offensive line being the best. Saquon being, top 2, top 3 running backs in the NFL right now.
Week 2, the Eagles travel to Kansas City.
It's a tough one. My nephew called me last night and says, "Is Patrick Mahomes ever going to visit Philadelphia? Let me play there. We play out there." Just throwing it out there. Tough game. The Eagles got a little 10-day window, though.
Now, I don't think these two teams have faced each other in, a couple of decades or something, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long, long time.
And the coaches have no idea.
It was very recently,
They don't know the Chiefs coach that well either.
Well, I was going to say, it's a little-known fact. Andy Reid once coached, actually, in Philadelphia.
Yes,
I was doing some research on this game.
Yep.
And he actually was the Eagles coach at one time.
Yep.
So there's that angle. That will be the late afternoon game on week 2, or a late afternoon game on week 2. Then the Eagles host the Rams.
There you go. Look at that.
Now I have the Chiefs winning that week 2.
Oh, okay.
Matchup.
All right. Okay.
I just think Eagles. Now they do have the extra time. They open up on that Thursday night. But you have to believe Kansas City wants to prove a little something Philadelphia is going to be feeling very good about itself after the rousing win over Dallas. In the overall scheme of things, I mean, it will be billed as the all-everything game for that week. And by the way, when you look at the NFL schedule and the way it's put together, you do start to understand why the National Football League is heads and shoulders above everybody else and everything else in sports. They do know how to put these matchups together, how to keep folks engaged, to create the storylines that are going to keep people talking. And you go to be wild. That's going to be interesting because this guy's going to be back in that city, and this coach is going to be returning there. And I mean, all throughout the season, they know what they're doing in terms of creating the anticipation for the matchup. So
all about the build-up, baby.
Eagles will be home with the Rams. I think they win that one. I have them 2-1. Then they go to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers.
Again, 4 bangers in a row, man. They've done nothing. They didn't help them out with the schedule. I got to say that.
Eagles,
Bucks. It seems they always play in Tampa Bay. They have gotten better of Tampa Bay in the recent years.
Yeah,
but the Bucks are an up-and-coming team. So I mean, the Eagles are the hunted team right now. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
so,
that one
is that one of those throw-up games, or just like it's not a lock by any stretch of the imagination.
Not a lock, but
I
like matchup-wise, I like the Eagles' chances there. Home with Denver, that's a W.
Yep.
At the Giants, it's the Giants. That's a W. At the Vikings, intriguing matchup.
Very intriguing. Very, very.
Home with the Giants, big fat W. At Green Bay, could be a dangerous matchup. The Detroit Lions will be a dangerous matchup. To Dallas, whip up on the Cowboys for a second time.
That's fine.
Then you host the Bears.
I'll allow that.
Who will be rejoicing in their victory over Pittsburgh, and you'll be able to pound Chicago back into reality. At the Chargers, that is a let's see, is that the Monday night game?
Season game out in the West Coast.
Yeah, that might be. I think that's
the Chargers.
Yeah. And then they are home with the Raiders. At the Commanders.
That's the one that's scary.
At the Bills, yeah. And then home with the Commanders to wrap up the regular season.
That's a pretty tough end of 3-game end of the series.
For
Washington, Bills, Washington.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I mean, I'm happy with 12-5.
Yeah. The thing is,
it's a new team.
Yes, but it almost doesn't matter as long as you get into the playoffs with this team, with the Eagles, because they are built. I'm sorry, they just are. They're built for postseason success. Jalen Hurts, the way he plays. And obviously Saquon Barkley and that offensive line. I mean, they are just a playoff team. So they may lose. They may not, but they may lose some games in the regular season. And you're like, yeah, okay. So what?
Like the Chiefs have the last few years. It looks like they were never fully into it. And the playoffs came and they were like, bam, 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 bam.
And then they got
bam, bam. By a lot of bam, bams.
Run over. Yeah, I think the Eagles, let's see, I have them losing to the Chiefs.
Oh, there you
I think I only had them losing 3, actually. I think I have them losing to the Chiefs. I had them losing. See, I think they're going to be ready for that. I think they're going to treat that stretch run. They might lose to the Commanders there.
They usually do. They usually do. That's usually the MO. It's like the Steelers Ravens. It's always going to be a split. Always.
And the other thing is, I mean, they could end up resting some players. You know, that's the other thing. The end of the season season games, like some of them you're salivating right now, like, oh, matchup. And then you get there, it's like, well, no, that team's out of the playoffs. Yep. This team's in, already has its spot locked. They're resting everybody. You're like, oh, nobody really cares.
Jaden Daniels is the future, man. He is legit.
I think the game at the Chargers is always just those cross-country trips are just always, to me, worrisome. And even though you have the Lions at home, Detroit is obviously good enough to beat anybody anywhere. Mm-hmm. It is a tough schedule. I didn't realize, I guess, quite. I looked at it yesterday. I didn't realize quite. You're right. It is. It's a stocked schedule. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we will talk a little bit about the just the NFL and the way they put these schedules together. And again, I think they are just brilliant. They know how to market the game. They understand the fans' passion, what's going to draw folks in. I was listening to some like Dan Patrick and even Joe Lednowski today on our airwaves. They were talking about the Thanksgiving and Christmas Day games and the Dallas Cowboys and all of that. I want to just delve into that a little bit when we come back. We'll take a break here. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show right here on Sports Radio 98.7.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7. The Fox State College. The Goon and Ironhead.
It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here at Quaker Steak and Lube on this Thursday as we get ready for the weekend and the Pirates Phillies series in.
We can't talk this weekend, Head. You know that.
Can the Pirates manage a run in each of the three games? That is one of the storylines to follow in that series.
Skeens pitches Sunday, by the way.
Hopefully.
What do you mean, hopefully?
Hopefully.
No.
If the Pirates don't trade him before.
Oh, the two Philadelphia, that'd be great. I'll give you Aaron Nola. Who you want?
There you go.
You want Castellanos and Aaron Nola? You got him.
What does it matter? The Pirates are going to be in the same place with or without Paul Skeens and the overall scheme of Major League Baseball.
So do you think he's trade bait this young? Not going to go up on a contract year, 3 years. So you don't think they're going to enjoy him for a year or two? For the right pricing, they would
enjoy him.
You know what I mean? Every fifth day is, if it's a home game, it's a good selling crowd.
Yeah.
Or
crowd.
Do they say, you know what?
But he's not home. It'd be one thing if he was home for all of those games.
You're
bringing in a lot of fans for the away games. I mean, if you traded him, he'd still likely get a start or two in Pittsburgh each year and he'll come out. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I genuinely cannot believe that they made no attempt to try to capitalize on the window that a talent like Paul Skeens gives you on the competitive front. How do you do that? Why do you do that if you're an organization?
Because they make $50 million a year and they're content with that?
Yeah, but at least, I mean, you got to throw your fans a bone and at least pretend that you have some interest in winning. Again, I mean, we joke about it, but it is mind-boggling how bad that offense is. And it's not exactly a great surprise. It's just, I mean, not only do you have Skeens, you have a good starting pitching staff. I mean, this is a good rotation up there with some of the best in baseball. I mean, it's not a top 3 or 4 staff, but it's up there. It's probably, I haven't sat down, maybe sit down and just make myself more depressed. Maybe I won't do that, but they've got to be one of the top 6-7 staffs in all of baseball. Well, if you have that, right, everybody tells you, and in baseball, it starts with pitching. You got to have pitching. They have pitching. They have nothing else. They have starting pitching. They have nothing else. They have a couple of actually good relievers. And then they have very little. Brian Hayes is, I mean, I love Hayes. Great defensive player. He is actually coming around, has had some really good at-bats as of late. You know, Neil Cruz just feels like a constant project. I'm certainly, I'm hoping everything works out here in center field for him. But, I mean, come on. You've got you have, again, a 3-4 year window here, and they're just going to let it go by without even trying to capitalize on that. Is at least what it feels like. I guess
No, I mean, I'm with
potentially
you.
next year they could.
So when
go
do
in
you
on it.
think would he be available this season?
Well,
I mean, if
again,
the price is right, everybody's available. Everybody has a price.
Yeah, I mean, if you're if you're the Pirates, you certainly listen. Hey, here's the problem: is like if it was an organization,
yep,
and an owner that is like, man, we want to win championships one way or another, then I'd be like, well, yeah, at least okay. If they do trade him, it's going to be with the idea that, man, we are going to build this thing up and create a championship team. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to unload the salary and get some prospects and try to give some false hope to the fan base. But there's no, I mean, anybody following Bob Nutting in this organization knows that the goal isn't, all right, well, yeah, it stinks that we're going to give up Skeens. So, I mean, yeah, do I want Skeens to hang around? Yes. Selfishly, for Paul Skeens' sake, do I want him to have to suffer through this and pitch the way he's pitching and hope that at the end of the year you can be only a few games below 500?
He'd look good at
with
red
one of the
pinstripes,
best
buddy.
ERAs in all of baseball.
I mean,
no, that
three
to
first-round
me
picks
is tragic.
3
from a
first-round
professional
picks.
standpoint for him.
I don't know what the going rate is right now. I have no idea about baseball trades, but 3 first-round picks from the Phillies for Paul Skeens.
Yeah,
in my opinion, Nutting would say no because he'd look at it saying, "I got to pay those 3 first-round guys."
Yeah, that's
insane
true
to think about.
Yeah,
he'd probably say, "Give me 10 straight third-rounders, or 6. Give me your 2 and 3 the next 3 years." It's cheaper for him. It's just, oh my gosh. With the Phillies, I mean, it was like they did nothing ever. They had the 80s and the run, and then there was like that 8-year window where it was just so bad. When Steve Jeltz is running the field for you, it's like, what is going on in this world? And then, people go away, they die, and they get new ownership in there, new blood comes in, and it's been a fantastic ride. But one World Series out of this team in the last 20 years, 17 years. I learned it the other day. I could not believe what I was reading. It said Jason Worth was at the Kentucky Derby. He had a horse running. And they said he was a member of the 2008 World Series team. And I looked at it and I said, oh my God, that was 18 years ago.
Yeah.
It's amazing and scary to think about what I was reading. So I don't know. It just, such a powerful. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't remember anything like him. Maybe Fernando Valenzuela.
Try 46 years on for size.
For what? Since your last World Series? So
series. Just saying.
Well, then I'm going to be the Eastern PA tool right now and say, what gives the Penguins okay, well, they're trying versus the Pirates. Because I don't think the Penguins I don't think that they're playing to win. I think they're playing for paychecks, for the gate. With Malkin and Crosby.
Yeah.
They should have signed all 3 of those cats. I mean, you knew that. Everybody knew that going in. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were hoping to just catch, magic in a bottle there and be able to make a run. And, I don't know. The Penguins thing, it didn't work out, but I think it feels like there's more of an emphasis there on actually trying to create a championship team, a contending team. I just think that, the Pirates, there's just no will to win from the ownership.
It's horrible,
it's not, and people get frustrated with the players. It's not.
The players get frustrated too. You see their reaction.
The players are all out there busting their tail, though. I mean, for the most part, it's just they don't have a major league roster, and that is on ownership because they're not paying for a major league roster.
Now, I'm not just sitting here dogging on the Buccos all day here. I don't want to do that, but the Bucks and the Rays, MLB is threatening the Rays with they're going to take the team over and sell them. Like, how can they do that? What are the Rays doing that's so bad that the Pirates can't have that threat? And I want to go back to Nutting. You said last week he wants to move the team. Where does he want to move the team, and why?
That's speculation. There's a lot.
Okay, but what is it in for him? He would own the stadium.
That's
I don't know the benefit of it. I mean, I guess it's only going to build him a stadium and say, you take all the revenue, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell's doing that.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see in terms of. Listen, I would love it if somebody would step in and get Bob Nutting, whether by force or just convince him. Let's do the right thing here and help this city out and sell the team to somebody that wants to put together a championship team. You know, Tampa's a little different situation in that it is not an area where like there are many. Certainly there will be some, but it's not an area where it's like, man, it's raise or bust. Like a lot of the folks that go to Tampa games that live in Tampa
are imports,
right? Are lifelong Pirates or Phillies or Nationals or all across the country fans. And it's like, we're down here for retirement, and so there's not the passion I mentioned before. The thing that is frustrating to me with the Pittsburgh situation, and this is across the board in sports, is like normally if you're upset with a business, right, you either like publicly boycott it or you just quietly say, no, I'm not going to like that restaurant. I don't like the change in ownership. They're not serving delicious food the way Quaker Steak and Lube does. So forget it. I'm not going.
Sure.
If you do that with your sports team, this is what you get is the threats that and there hasn't been from the Nuttings yet the threat of leaving, but there's a growing sentiment that is at least a possibility here. So then as a fan, it's like, well, no, I want to have a team here. I would like it to be a competitive team, an organization that at some point shows some proclivity or interest in putting together a championship type of organization. Well, so now you're either left supporting and going to the games and supporting an ownership group that has no interest in winning and watching a bat, in which case it's just going to sustain itself because that now Bob Nutting has no reason to sell. Major League Baseball has no reason to step in. My gosh, look at the support. And Bob Nutting says, well, this is great. I don't have to pay anything close to a championship roster and the fans will turn out. Well, then the other side of it is, well, now the fans don't turn out. Bob Nutting goes to Major League Baseball. We got to move. They won't support us. Well, the fact that you're 20 games under 500 before we get to Memorial Day might be a contributing factor there. I mean, the Pittsburgh, when the Pirates have put out a winning product, the city has turned out like sellout crowds consistently. I would contend that is what good sports fans do. Good sports fans don't show up in mass and support an awful product. Like that does not make any sense. That doesn't make you a great fan. That makes you a gullible.
So Cleveland and Buffalo Bills and Browns fans.
Yeah, you're supporting. Well, the Bills now are being handsomely rewarded.
Well, they haven't won a title.
They've been in strong contention for
if there was no Patrick Mahomes, how many titles would they be playing for?
Last couple of decades. So, anyways.
On that note, I did see that Cleveland has moved away. I believe they're being told that the indoor arena they're trying, the dome, I believe that they're being told that it's not feasible. So they need to stay downtown. That's the story I heard. I don't know if that was hearsay, whatnot on top of that. But I'm a little disappointed in you, Jeff. Right now it's 2:54, and we have not talked about the elephant in the room.
Yeah, what's that?
And that's Mr. Hockey, Philadelphia Flyer hockey.
Yeah.
Mr. Rick Tocchet is the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, buddy.
Yeah.
The ultimate triumphant Philadelphia Flyer of all time is now the head coach of the organization.
Uh-huh.
You cannot claim him as a Pirates fan or as a Pens fan. You're not allowed.
Huh.
Nope.
No.
I got the word right from the man's own mouth. He reached over, tapped me on the shoulder, and he says, "Goon, I'm always a Flyer." And this is amongst Yinzers, so he couldn't say it out loud. And I slept well that night. I slept very, very, very well that night, knowing that the Rick Tocchet was always a Flyer. Love the idea. Love what his organization. I think he's past the route of, you got to defend the ice and you got to go out and slap people around, teams around, beat them up and all that. That's not the way hockey's being played right now. And I think he's going to have a toughness to his team, as obviously he always will. He was always one of the toughest guys in the league, but I don't think I don't think they're going to goon it up. I think he has made that transformation to the new era of hockey, a much faster European type game.
So a couple of things going back to the NFL schedule, a couple of things that are just it's interesting. There are a lot of folks not happy with the number of primetime appearances of the Dallas Cowboys. And it is one of those things, Goon, where you cannot be happy about it and you can groan about it. And the overwhelming majority of us are going to tune in and watch those games. Now, I contend that there are, and the Cowboys are one of them, there are just some teams, some organizations, it really doesn't matter what they have done recently, what they are doing. It's just, man, people like Duke basketball, it'll be a very long time before they are irrelevant. Like they would have to go through just an unbelievable string of decades of, again, just being awful for folks to not have passion one way or the other. Stretch of truthfully being irrelevant on the national scene, except they weren't irrelevant because they had their NBC deal and folks
still made money, baby.
And they tuned in to watch them lose if you were an anti-Notre Damer, or to see them, keep pushing that, someday they'll get it turned around, and now they have. If you're pro Notre Dame, there's just certain teams, organizations, the New York Yankees, again, that they are going to have followings, big national followings, and with that, they're going to have a lot of folks that will tune in to root against them. And so, again, you can be unhappy, Cowboys or Chiefs, with why are they doing this game there? One of the discussions that I heard on one of the shows today was, well, okay, that's fine. We get it. Dallas draws eyeballs to the set. You like having them in prime time. But why would you have the Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day when you have a captive audience anyway? And
you could have gone Cowboys Giants and had the same amount of people watching.
One of the league offices folks said is, listen, we want like record-setting viewing for that game. So because it's a Thanksgiving Day game, we're going to have a lot of people in anyway, but you're going to have even more people tuning in because, man, we want to see Patrick Mahomes. We want to see Dallas try to win. We want to see Dallas lose. We want to see the Chiefs get a little bit of comeuppance on Thanksgiving Day, and you want to see the Chiefs win. So part of what the NFL, they know there's a built-in audience for all, like it to some degree. It doesn't matter. They're going to get a lot of people tuning in for the Sunday night and Monday night games. even if they're garbage matchups.
Yep.
But gathering around and talking about it, don't have to be because it was a nail biter of a game. It can be for a wide variety of reasons, but you want people talking. Well, you look at the overall schedule and the matchups and where they have the matchups and when they have the matchups. And again, every week there's like 3 or 4 games at least where you're like, even if you don't have a dog in the fight, a rooting interest. And of course, the NFL is great at creating the rooting interest. I mean, very few people that watch the NFL have no rooting interest, right?
Yep.
Even if you're not close in proximity to an NFL city, chances are, for one reason or another, you feel affiliated with one organization or another. So that's number one. But even again, where you have no rooting interest directly, it's like, well, yeah, but I want to see this guy do well. I want to see that coach not do well. Hey, that sounds like it's going to be a great game. I just want to tune in and see how that maybe plays out. And when you look at all of the storylines that are there for the NFL this year, and then you look at the matchups and the way they put the schedule together, Goon, again, they are master marketers. They absolutely are. And I think, again, people are already talking about
May
that
15th. We're talking. Well, I'm going to talk about something that's pretty important to us, and that is the NFL put games on that Saturday of the NCAA playoffs again.
Yeah,
it's like the big bad freaking wolf, man. Like, like you've taken everything. You know what I mean? They've taken Thursday night. They're starting to try to get Friday now. They got Monday night. They're trying. It's like, come on, man. Like, okay, so if we're playing in a playoff game December 20, I don't even know what the hell day it is. Well, you went through it this year with the Steelers. We played SMU in the afternoon, and the Steelers played the Ravens that night.
The other thing is one of the other things that it's just interesting. So there are more and more overseas games.
Yes.
It does feel like it is inevitable at some point. I don't know whether it'll be next year, whether we're talking another decade, somewhere in between. It feels to me, at least, Goon, virtually inevitable.
Do you really think that?
I do. That they are going to put NFL teams in some of these foreign cities, European cities. Which opens up another whole.
That's ridiculous
from a competitive standpoint.
I think the NFL's happy doing the 6 to 8 games over in Europe. I
think they're
truly
happy
do.
for now. I think long term that is clearly the direction they are headed. They want to make this a true worldwide product. My guess is they want to wait until they feel good about their chances of getting these stadiums pretty well filled in 4 different venues,
following
in Europe.
But they don't have tier
that
1
move.
soccer here. Like the European Cup, the English Premier League is not playing in America.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what if they want to get this worldwide audience. But like Brazil and England, they have 2 different football leagues. Soccer leagues or whatever you want to say it. But I just don't think that other than Germany, being a World League of American Football guy back in the 90s, when that league ended, that there was only 5 teams and 4 of them were in Germany. The Germans really took to the NFL football game, in my opinion, where they have been trying England since the Bears in 1986 with the frigid Too Tall Jones, if you remember those Sports Illustrated covers. They have been trying to get England, but I just don't think they have a team or a city in Europe that can host 8 NFL games a year and have the fan base. Whereas I love watching the European game. I'm sorry. I love watching the European games because you just look into the crowd and it's like the Broncos are playing the Seahawks and you'll see Dolphins gear, 49ers gear, Niners, Vikings, and Bears. They're just NFL fans where I don't think they have the wherewithal to get a single team to be located. So we're going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're the ones who've been rumored to play in London for a decade now.
Yeah.
They play at least there once or twice a year in England. They're trying to make that the second home for them. I just don't see it. I mean, they tried Canada. They tried to put Buffalo into Canada, but the Bills were very much against that. Why wouldn't you try Canada before you would try to overseas if you're going to try to expand the NFL? And I know we're going to commercial, but I do have the same question that me and Tim Sweeney, when our show 15 years ago, we had talked about it, and that was, what is the NFL's next big money grab? And it was wholeheartedly 1,000,000% gambling. That's where the NFL owners are going to make their next $1 billion. And that time is up. They're making those billions of dollars. Now they're on to the next project of how they're going to make that next $1 billion. And, we don't have the gambling thing is already in. So it's like, this is where the NFL, they have to evolve into where they're going to be. And I say that my one buddy had told me before that, like, the NFL has they have monopolized at least 8 months a year so far. 8 out of the 12 months are football related right now.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the NFL schedule on May 15th.
Yeah.
Breaking it down like we're playing next week. I mean, think about the power that the NFL has right there. But I do not. And we come back, you can give me your point of how I just don't know how they can sustain a team, one, with the travel, and two, with that travel team having to go back and forth across the pond 7-8 times, or they would stay in America for a couple of weeks. I don't know, but I just don't think they could do that right now. Nor do I think they want to. I think that they're really happy having 12 teams over there in 6 different stadiums, and then they go from there. They have all their NFL fans.
Take a break here. We are back with more on our Thursday afternoon.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry in to Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again,
The Fox,
your sports radio.
broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
Back here on a Thursday afternoon, and again, getting ready for the Phillies and the Pirates in Philadelphia this weekend. Of course, you can hear all of the action right here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. And we also have Penn State men's lacrosse in the NCAA quarterfinals on Sunday afternoon. The Nittany Lions will take on Notre Dame. That'll be a noon start in Annapolis, Maryland, and certainly wish the Nittany Lions the best of luck. 3 wins away from securing the first ever national title in Penn State men's lacrosse history. So, looking forward to that. Again, Penn State baseball in action tonight and Saturday at Medler Field against Xavier, and then tomorrow night they will play the middle game of that series at FNB Stadium in Harrisburg. And the Nittany Lions then will head into the Big Ten tournament. Again, we'll find out exactly where the Nittany Lions are seated depending on the results elsewhere in the Big Ten this coming weekend. Most of the rest of the conference has Big Ten action scheduled for the final weekend of the regular season.
I didn't even look. Did they play in Pittsburgh the other night? What happened?
I wish I hadn't looked. That was a 15-1 beatdown by the Panthers. Just absolutely hammered Penn State in that one on
I did
Tuesday
see it.
night
I did
at
see
PNC Park.
I did. We give up 5 or 6 in the first inning, right?
It was not the game the Nittany Lions were hoping for there at PNC Park. Neat opportunity to play in that stadium, but not capitalized upon the way you would have hoped.
So we lost 15-1, and I saw the one run was in the first inning because one of our guys went yard. And I was like, that's pretty cool going yard in the Major League Baseball stadium.
Yep.
That's
that
cool,
part
man.
was good.
Yeah. Then they had to play
Rest
6
of
7
it,
more innings. Yep.
Not so much.
Understood.
And again, the World Team trials will be getting underway tomorrow in Louisville, Kentucky.
Question.
A lot of matchups that I'm interested to see, just kind of how it plays out. Obviously, you've got to see first how the tournament actually plays out, but the potential matter. You could see Carter Starace get another crack at Chance Marsteller, and then could see Starace face his Nittany Lion Wrestling Club teammate, Kyle Dake. Fascinating matchup for a number of different reasons, if that is to occur. really excited for the potential opportunity for Levi Haynes to get another crack at Dean Hamady, who, of course, beat him at the NCAA championships in the semifinals this year, and Hamady went on to win the national title. Haynes is the 1 seed, Hamady the 2 seed here at the trials. I think that is, again, a fascinating potential matchup. A couple of other ones just to keep an eye on. The potential for a battle of bows at 65 kilos. Bartlett for Penn State and Bassett, who is, of course, heading to Iowa, the high school phenom. That matchup could occur. Marcus Blaze could face Jesse Mendez, the Ohio State two-time national champion. Just a lot of interesting, or a lot of, again, potential intriguing matchups. Curious to see if PJ Duke can get a shot at James Green, how Duke fares. And it's just one of those things that's, I think it probably happens every year, but you start to see some of the guys that are coming onto the national scene, like a PJ Duke, potentially facing a James Green, the veteran, a Kyle Dake, potentially facing a Carter Starachi. Those are matchups that I think it's like, all right, does the old guy, and in Dake's case, yeah, old by freestyle wrestling standards, up there anyway, but also making the move up a weight class. Now, Starachi, of course, made the move up in folk style wrestling for this past collegiate season. So just a lot of, again, we're talking about the NFL storylines. I think there's some really interesting storylines that are developing here for the men's freestyle world team trials. And again, that action will get underway tomorrow morning in Louisville, Kentucky.
Cale, Cody, Penn State staff.
Yeah.
Are they all out there for this?
Yeah.
Because they're individually coaching the wrestling guys?
I don't know that for sure. At least I'm sure Casey's there, and I am all but certain that Cale is there. My guess is that they would all
travel
throughout
the year.
They would all be there for this one. Just again, the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club in Penn State has a lot of guys there. One, two, it's just this is one of the showcase events for USA Wrestling, and with the Final X coming up here, I think they'll be keeping an eye on some individuals for potential matchups here at Final X as well.
Okay,
so
before
it'll be fun.
the Nittany Lion Wrestling Cup, which
weekend.
has been around, what, 10, 12 years now? Maybe more, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Cale set up when he came in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what were guys doing before all of that? They were training on their own? They weren't training at Penn State, were they? Before the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, when they had to wrestle, when guys were training for the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, I mean, you would do some training at your school, but yeah, a lot of them were going to New York Athletic Club and other.
It's just not being a jerk, but is that where the Foxcatcher thing comes from?
That was
one of the facilities
club,
where guys train and stuff like that.
Yep.
But then universities were not having wrestling clubs at those points. So has that helped? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Has that helped? I mean, it's helped
Penn State. Yeah.
I know it helps Penn State, but does it help the game, the sport? Having these wrestling clubs and stuff like that, I think it does.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about I mean, I wouldn't know if that was going on 10 years ago. I think that wrestling's taking that next step to they're being more well known, being more out there, or just hang out with you too damn much. One of the two, either or. But I wouldn't have heard about this 10, 12 years ago, nor would I have really cared about it.
Yeah.
I think wrestling has taken that next step to being, the it sport right now. I mean, but I want to know how much the wrestling clubs have had to how much of it goes towards that. How do you have, a Bo Bassett, a Levi Haynes, and all these guys wrestling out of the same club and stuff like that. That's freaking awesome. It's amazing. These guys are wrestling all the time together. I think it's only going to get the sport better, right? Rather than, David Taylor, he's training in Ohio where he grew up,
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably helping the sport a bit. Again, they're going to go. It certainly helps the schools that have strong wrestling clubs, strong RTCs, regional training centers.
Is that what that means?
Because it gives them the opportunity to give their college kids a chance to wrestle some veterans and to learn from some of the best in the country. So. I think this will be a fun couple of days down in Louisville. I think there's some really good, at least potential matchups. Even in some of the weights where Penn State doesn't have anybody here at the World Team Trials, I think there's a chance for just some fun matchups, some intriguing matchups. 65 kilos to me is just, that's one of those. I mean, I know Jesse Mendez is probably rightfully the favorite. It really feels to me like there's at least 6 guys there, and maybe as many as 8 or 9, that it's like, I wouldn't be shocked if they ended up being the guy.
A little bit of depth.
And again, obviously we'll see how it all plays out over the next couple of days. I really think Levi Haynes is going to impress. Bo Bartlett, I know it's kind of a broken record. He is so close to being the guy here. And I keep thinking, man, one of these he's just going to crash through, and maybe it is this weekend. I certainly think he has an excellent chance to be the guy there. PJ Duke, I'm really, I'm hoping he does get through and gets to James Green, and then I'm just going to be fascinated to see how that thing plays out, regardless of the result. I think it would be a wonderful opportunity for PJ Duke for sure to gain some very valuable experience that would help him moving forward. And again, then you're on to Final X and potential for some great matchups there. Obviously, we already know Luke Lillidahl will be getting another shot at Spencer Lee at Final X, and Lee obviously is rightfully a favorite, just as Aruja is a favorite over Jax Forrest. But I think, again, great opportunity for Lillidahl, great opportunity for Forrest, and I think for the sport, again, just from the marketing standpoint, we talk about the NFL and the storylines. I think, and there's different storylines. One of them, at least a couple of the weights, is, hey, here come the young guns, the new kids on the block. Can they take out the veteran, in some cases, the all-time greats here in a guy like Kyle Dake? Father Time eventually, we know, wins, but does he win this year, or are we still a few years away? And again, Kyle Dake to me is probably one of the more intriguing watches in this tournament, just because not only, he's veteran for sure, but making that move up, and it is a significant move up here for Kyle Dake. Now that he's got the competition under his belt, does he make some adjustments and now has a better feel? He's certainly one of the most wrestling smart guys out there, just really savvy, knowing how to adjust his game, what to do. I think he's a guy that is just going to learn and apply the lessons from wins or losses, but certainly even more so from losses, and use that as fuel, and also use it to really objectively break down his own game and figure out, all right, this is what I got to get better at here. Carter Starachi, the thing, if they do meet, and Starachi's got to get through Marsteller, and Marsteller obviously, to me, is just one of the all-time great stories, going back to the storylines. What he was able to overcome is just a wonderful, inspirational story for young people who maybe get caught up on a wrong path and get taken down a wrong track. That you can get yourself right and get yourself in great position, and Marsteller obviously did that. But the thing with Dake and Starachi is, to me, those two are both of the same ilk in that they just have that competitive drive, and it's like, all right, I will find a way to win this. Whatever the circumstance, whatever the challenge, they both just have that genuine championship mentality where it's like it doesn't matter. I was watching one of the slogans that Penn State Wrestling has had under Cale Sanderson is the so what. And I was watching a thing the other day where former wrestlers like, I loved that because it really, oh, you won a championship last year? So what? Oh, you won a big match yesterday? So what? Oh, you've got this challenge in front of you. You got this going on off the mat. So what? Are you going to go wrestle this match and go win this match or not? Like that. And it is. It's a wonderful approach to have. It's really hard to actually follow through on that and tell yourself, yeah, it doesn't matter what injury I have. It doesn't matter what happened last time I wrestled this guy. It doesn't matter
your laurels.
Any of the other things going on. Again, so what? I'm just focused on doing the very best I can in this next match. So if that does happen, I'm going to be fascinated if Starachi and Dake do wrestle and just seeing how that thing plays out, because obviously the added storyline there is they're both with the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. They obviously have helped each other get to this point in both their careers and just this stage of the freestyle season. And again, I think they both are also genuinely grateful for the opportunities. I mean, I think regardless of how that goes, you'll see good sportsmanship by both, because I think there's a genuine respect that they each have for the other. And that probably goes across the board with a lot of the potential matchups here this weekend.
Well, of course, I have questions.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Who finances this? Who pays for all of this, like the travel and stuff? Is it the wrestling clubs who are sponsoring their athletes?
USA Wrestling will pay for the world team trials.
These are world team trials or no?
Yeah, this is the trials for the world team.
So they'll pay for travel for the players or the athletes and their coaches, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then, would they have any of their training partners or anything like that? This is what always it's amazing to me to see who pays what and how much comes out of the Nittany Lion Wrestling clubs and how much comes out of the USA.
Yeah, USA, I think, would pay for a training partner. And, again, the coaching becomes interesting because obviously the club coaches are involved here. But then as you make the world team, your club coach is obviously still very much involved. But now you also have the USA coaches who are, working with the wrestlers in the lineup. So they'll have some training sessions, obviously, as they get ready for the World Championships, where they bring everybody together and try to refine some things and go over specific things that they want with the world team in terms of their approach to the World Championships. And one of the things, Goon, I just think we really are in I think probably the best area for American wrestling. This era starting probably 8 years ago, where you're just seeing Americans that have a chance at every weight. Now, again, don't always have a medalist at every weight, but like pretty consistently now, Team USA is putting in a wrestler in each of the weight classes at both the World Championships and at the Olympics, where you're like, yeah, I think, Team US has a legitimate chance.
And there were
at
times
least medaling.
There were times when it was bad, where we're going to get slaughtered.
The U.S. didn't have anybody qualified for, and I mean, even that still happens. And again, it's one of the things with, and I'm sure it's like it for other sports, but it is tough in a sport like wrestling where you have as many top caliber guys as some of these countries do at some of the weight classes. So certainly the United States, Russia, Iran, and then again, at different weight classes, Japan. And I mean, some of these countries, it's like, man, you could go 3 deep. And on a given day, that the guy that's, maybe ranked third at your weight could beat anybody in the world. But they won't have the opportunity at the World Championships. It's not going to happen right now just because of the way the governing bodies are and just the way kind of, especially on the Olympic side of things. I would kind of like to see them open it up, though, to where, all right, if you have 2 of the best guys in the world at the same weight from Russia or, and I think we've talked about this even with college wrestling, the idea of maybe having a tournament where you allow any non-starter to go compete, and you take just the champions of that tournament and say, yep, you can go compete at the NCAA championships as well. And you would just take the higher scoring wrestler. And again, my guess is 95+% of the time, the starter for whatever teams come from, the reason they're the starter, are going to place higher, and they'll be the scoring wrestler. But I think once in a blue moon, you're going to have one of those guys. And even though it wouldn't count on the team scoring, you would give them the opportunity. All right, see, I was an All-American. Because we've talked about it. Penn State, has had some weights where it's like, I think we have like 2 of the best, maybe the 2 best, but certainly 2 of the best 5 guys or so in the country. Well, this at least gives you an opportunity to go out and show it. I don't know. I would be in favor of that. I don't think that's something that would ever even.
So what you said is this is the golden era of USA wrestling.
I think so.
I would say so too, because I know that I'm closer to the wrestling world now than I ever have been. But there was also a lot of people like me who really have no history of wrestling, who have an understanding of it right now and follow it a little bit more. Again, not because of who I hang out with you or Austin and that crew, but
I just think you're seeing more U.S. wrestlers competing on a consistent basis internationally
and
at very young
faces
ages.
You've seen.
For sure.
I mean, I'm not a Iowa wrestling fan, but I sort of like Spencer Lee. I don't want to mess with his mom. That's just not my thing. I mean, she's going to break me down and beat me up. I mean, that's what it is. But, there's a thing. I can watch him during the Olympics and cheer for him because I've seen him wrestle for 5 years. I think that we have that little, we see them more. People know David Taylor and before we go, was Schneider going to be part of this?
Not the team trials, no.
Okay.
We'll take a break here. We are coming right back with a final segment on the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We are at Quaker Steak and
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see you in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia.
Wanna see you in a Kia.
Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here on a Thursday afternoon, getting ready for the Pirates and the...
I'm telling you want a piece of this? I mean, we got Alan,
I
Mr.
don't want
Mr.
a piece of
Weiser.
this.
Alan and I have a bet.
No piece of this.
He is up 3 cases of beer on the Flyers Penguins series this year. He got me a couple times on the Phillies Pirates preseason spring training baseball. He said he got a little lead on me right now.
That's dangerous.
I'm okay with that, Alan. It's okay. But we got a case of beer for each game and for the series win. So it's 4 cases of beer going this weekend, but then if they play again in Pittsburgh in 3 weeks. So the same bet goes for that, and there's a 4th or a 9th case of beer, which will be bet on the 6-game total, running total of the teams. So A lot of stuff going on between Mr. Weiser. Alan, bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
Let's hope for the best. Then again,
Skeens got scratched twice now. He's not pitching against the Phillies.
Then again, the beloved Pirates are playing 500 ball under their new manager. So we've got
shook it up, baby.
We got that going for us.
They shook things up. Look what happens.
Which is even for a week.
Hey,
for somebody to be able to take this roster and go 500, you've got to give them some credit. And Don Kelly has been a breath of fresh air. Again, I don't think there's anybody. Well, I shouldn't say anybody. I think there are very few people that truly believe. Yeah, the problem with the doggone Pirates is Derek Shelton just isn't managing this team right. You get the right manager in there and watch this team just come to life and start batting over 300 and putting up no, that's not a managerial thing.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Do I think Don Kelly? Yeah, do I think he's breathed a little new life in the locker room, and it can help for the short term? Yep, probably. And I like Don Kelly. And I don't think Shelton was a great manager. I mean, I don't think, we're talking about an all-timer there that the Pirates let get away. But I think he's a serviceable major league manager. You can put the best manager out there in Major League Baseball, and he's not winning with this lineup. That's just not that. The manager isn't where the problem is. General manager, yes, problems there, but the real problem, and everybody in Pittsburgh knows it, is that they have an ownership group that does not.
I'm the question king today.
Championships.
What does the minor leagues look like? Are they loaded?
They're good. The pitching is certainly very good. They have some players coming up that that are good. The problem is, well, one of the problems is you can't, if you are just going to build in-house, build your organization up in-house, like you have to capitalize on those opportunities then when they exist. It's a very hard, virtually impossible thing to do in today's world of Major League Baseball. It's much like saying, all right, we're going to be a college football team that just wins with recruiting, and we're not going to take any transfer portals. Well, okay. I mean, Clemson tried that, and you saw how that worked out. Now, do I think you can primarily build in-house? Yep. I think that's a great way to go. If you have a good scouting department, you know what you're doing, you're great at development all throughout. Fantastic. But then also, hey, to make a championship run, let's go get that key big bat that we need. Let's get that key left fielder that we need. Let's go get, you can't just eschew free agency. And I don't mean, obviously the Pirates they hit free agency. They need to make, when you have, again, a Paul Skeens, I think the frustration, if you're a Pirates fan, at least for me, I get it. We're a small market. I'm not expecting the Pirates are going to be like Alabama football has been for all of these years, or like the Yankees and the Dodgers can potentially be, where it's like, all right, we're going to be just contenders year in and year out, and that's the way it is. But if you build it right and you go about your business right, hey, look at that. We got a Paul Skeens. And then you're like, man, this is our window. And you go all in. You push your chips in. It's like, this is, we might then have a decade of irrelevance once we lose Skeens, but we have him here for a few years. Let's see what we can do. See if we can build a championship team. And they built a starting rotation that's good enough to be a contending rotation. And then they They don't have a closer. They don't have any offense to speak of. I mean, not only do they not have a big bat or enough quality hitters, they don't have a quality hitter, a big bat in that lineup.
No one in that lineup sitting there saying, we got to get around this guy. We got to pitch around.
And that's what's frustrating. Well, that game, you
don't sound frustrated at all.
The game Tuesday night was the game where it was just, I mean, it kind of crystallized just how bad that offense is, where you're 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position, I think 3 different times. They had a runner at third with either no outs or 1 out and left them there.
Woof.
Including, I mean, they had runners at second and third to end the game. And it's just, and the frustrating thing was, especially now they did make some adjustments as the game went on, but the first five or six innings, and I get it. Major league pitching, even like average major league pitching, it's remarkable what they can do with the ball. But you're watching these guys swing at pitches that are way out of the strike zone. That even if it's like, what are you doing? Like, why in God's name would you be swinging at that? And the way they're swinging, they're reaching out, they're golf swinging. It's like, well, even if you make contact, this isn't going to go well. Like, it's just beyond frustrating to have an offense where it's like, all right, we have guys in scoring position, chance to capitalize. And you kind of knew
this is it
before.
Here it comes. This is it.
What happened. That is how it was going to play out. It's just extremely.
You're not involved at all. You're not into it at all. You know.
No.
You don't sound like you're really in the Buccos this year at all.
You
don't sound frustrated at all, Jeffrey.
That's good. That was the hope. Again, if you get the chance, check out Penn State baseball. Tonight, 5:30, Nittany Lions closing out the regular season. They'll go into Big Ten play. They will be in Big Ten play next week. Exactly where they will be, and again, they do pool play now, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because pool play with one game, like it's kind of, hey, pitching matchup here, guy gets hot. Crazy things can happen in those types of scenarios, and
they normally do.
This team has enough big bats in that lineup and enough pitching that I do not rule out Penn State doing something big at the Big Ten tournament. Now, it's pool play. You could also go 0-2. And hey, that was fun. Postseason experience is over, and I think that's going to be the case for pretty much everybody involved. It's like, yeah, we could go on a run here. Or could be quickly ousted, and that's what'll make that tournament so intriguing. Next week, again, Penn State men's lacrosse in the quarterfinals against Notre Dame.
Sunday night.
Beating Notre Dame. Sunday afternoon, 12 noon.
Okay.
Start in Annapolis, Maryland, with the berth to the Final Four hanging in the balance in that one. And again, the World Team Trials for men's freestyle wrestling in Louisville, Kentucky will be tomorrow and Saturday. And we're still waiting for how this is, this House versus NCAA, which is where the settlement with the scholarship limits and for the 22 million-ish that will be available to schools to hand out. That is still no resolution yet. No,
that's not the one that interests me
from the courts. No,
I want to see how they're going to distribute the $2.8 billion to the guys from 2012 or 2016 on. I'm very interested in that. I know our players now are going to get paid, but I'm very interested to see how they go back. I'd love to know the theory of how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Of who was worth what and what year. And it's just baffling to me. Again, we got to say it. We're just happy we don't have Pat Kraft's job. By the way, do me a favor this weekend, Jeffrey.
Yes, sir.
If John Crook is calling the Phillies game, because it's in Philadelphia this weekend, so most likely he's going to be there. Put the Phillies broadcast on.
Not happening.
Buddy, he's a gem, man.
Not happening.
You would not want to listen to John Clark. You're going to listen to the boo-hoo bucko announcers.
Yes.
Good God.
Yep.
If I told you to check out John Clark, you still wouldn't. Oh.
Well, for one thing, legally we can't air him on our airwaves.
No.
And I'll be locked in on our airwaves for the weekend's action. It's just the way I roll.
You listen to him?
Oh, yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I grew up listening with Harry, but I haven't listened to one I do remember going to bed at night listening to the Phillies playing in the summertime growing up. Like it was yesterday. I really can't get into that now, I don't think.
It's a different era. We were just talking about this the other day. Just so, and not even necessarily better or worse or whatever. It's just different. And yeah, one of the things is just the connection that I think, at least for me, that I had with the announcers with some of these teams. Now, Greg Brown on the TV side is phenomenal to me. That's a debatable point. I have some friends.
Some people hate him,
Greg
right?
Brown is, I think he is terrific.
I think every announcer has that issue. He's either loved or hated. It's not like no one's ever completely loved. People always have problems with somebody, but go ahead.
Well, these days that's probably true. I think in years past that was
Bob Walker.
I mean, I'm sure there were
I'm
sure there were people that had issues with, but like Vin Scully was pretty much universally loved. You go back, Harry Callis with the Phillies. You go back to
Harry Carey, Joe Buck.
There's
Jack Buck.
A whole list of guys that it's like, they were kind of just identified. And again, I'm sure there were people.
I blew somebody away this weekend with
that didn't like them.
Vin Scully amount of time he broadcasted games with my stupid knowledge that Vin Scully called a game that was managed by a guy who was born during the Civil War. You ever heard me say that?
No.
Oh, geez. Connie Mack was born in 1865, end of the Civil War. And one of the first games of Vin Scully broadcasts in 1950, I believe. Connie Mack was the manager of the Phillies against, I believe, it had to have been the Dodgers then. Well, it would have been the Brooklyn Dodgers. So did he? No, may not be the Brooklyn Dodgers. I don't know who the Brooklyn Dodgers announcer was, but they left in 47 though. Never mind. I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
Yes, but Connie Mack was born during the Civil War and managed a game that Vin Scully called. That's insane. That is how long that man was involved in baseball. And then he was calling games up to 2 seasons ago. Craziness, man.
Yeah. Remarkable.
What's the Turtle got going on this weekend, bud?
Many, many different ways.
We camping, we karateing.
Well, we had an amazing
Boy Scouts.
Amazing day yesterday. We talked about it on our morning show today, but the Mad Turtle yesterday had his in 4th grade. The State College Area School District does a track meet with the kiddos. They have after school track. I think it was on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I think they got one practice with this spring. But they then bring all of the elementary schools together and have a track meet. It was originally scheduled for Tuesday. It got postponed to Wednesday. The problem with that was Wednesday was the Coral Street concert. So they have their band, their choir, and their orchestra all perform on Wednesday night. So the Mad Turtle had they did a great job, they being the organizers of the elementary, the 4th grade track and field event. I think it's fair to say the kiddos had a great time. The Mad Turtle enjoyed a hearty meal of M&Ms and a hot dog right before his championship run in the 4x100
Babe Ruth like.
But then he went out and ran the 400 and then finished with the 100. And I mean, we barely got to the concert in time. We cut it as close as you could possibly cut it, but got there. Wonderful performance there. So yeah, it has been a crazy week between of course, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so my wife, who runs the Jana Marie Foundation, has been running all over the place. Center Gives finishing up tonight, and then they have their Jam Fest event, which will be on Saturday from noon to 5. So the Mad Turtle will be, actually at the Center Gives event at the Rivet tonight for a little bit. Then I'm snagging him, and we're going to baseball practice tonight. Nice. He'll have rock climbing tomorrow night.
Geez.
He'll have baseball Saturday afternoon, and then we'll head down to Jam Fest and finish things up there. On Monday night.
Yes, this is what I was getting at.
There is another event. If you're looking for something fun and a little different, JanaMarieFoundation.org. You can go there and click on the events calendar and check out this coming Monday night at Axeman Brewery. They are going to have a comedy night. There will be a terrific performance. And the whole event, again, to raise money for the Jana Marie Foundation, pretty much everything that they do involves some kind of music, and this will be no exception. And that is one of the fun things to me about the foundation is the different ways they connect people together. So the event is called A Good Laugh. Tommy LaMotta is the stand-up comedian that will be performing. Eric Ian Farmer and Free Range will be providing the music. There will be delicious food provided by Cisco. And again, this will be all at Axeman Brewery. You can get tickets ahead of time online, or you can just show up the night of the event at Axeman Brewery. The event will start at 6. Things should wrap up right around 9 o'clock. Again, if you're looking for something a little different, fun to do, Monday night, 6 to 9, A Good Laugh is the name of the program. Again, you can go to JanaMarieFoundation.org, go to the events section, and you can, again, purchase tickets in advance or purchase them there. Again, it's a fundraiser, so it's $50 a ticket, but you get in, you're going to have a lot of fun, a very enjoyable evening. And again, it's a fundraiser to help the Jana Marie Foundation serve young people. And,
I'll be there for you.
And help them. Well, I appreciate that.
Come on, hang out with the Goon and Ironhead. What the hell?
It'll be a good time.
They have beer?
My understanding is that at Axeman Brewery, they are, in fact,
unbelievable.
Have some adult beverages.
Beer will travel.
Available. So, yes, if you're looking for something to do, that should be a great time at Axeman Brewery. Again, Monday night, 6 to 9. You can get tickets ahead of time, but again, you can, and it's the same price. You can just show up at the door, $50.
Want to bet a ticket from the season on the weekend series?
No.
Come on.
No faith.
It's so bad. You need.
If you are asking, do I think the Pirates can average a run a game? I'll take that. 3 runs in the series. I think that's possible. I think that that is possible.
Let me think. I got to look.
I have no faith.
I think that Sunday might be Wheeler and Skeens.
That would be fun. That would be worth.
No, it's Sanchez.
Yes,
it's still pretty damn good.
He's good pitching match.
You get Wheeler on Saturday night,
folks. We hope you have a great weekend.
Please do.
We'd love to see you at Axeman Brewery Monday night, and we will be back on Tuesday with another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. Until then, be good and be safe.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see you in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia.
Wanna see you in a Kia.
Hurry in to Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College, the Goon and Ironhead.